All right, so this is your organization lecture for Wednesday, and it's for your untimed essay. So I'm going to focus in this organization lecture on how to work on that line of reasoning and how to do so in response to the prompt. It's a synthesis of some of the things we've been covering these last couple of weeks. A good line of reasoning, a good order of ideas will enhance the fluidity of your logic, your argument, and all of that will show itself in a good intro and a good conclusion. Those are kind of the pieces of evidence, the check your work for whether or not you feel like you have a good order. You'll know that you do if the intro and the organization there is good, and if the organization of the conclusion is good as well. So here are the skills of focus. Everything I just said was about the skill. This is about the skill where it meets the content. We are interested this week in contrasting characters, the way that the book uses foils, character foils, to illuminate things about these mostly women. So the specific takeaways here from the whole unit are when narrators compare another character to someone else, they reveal their perspective on the compared character. And they might reveal something innate or natural about that compared character. Those foils serve to illuminate, a great AP Lit word, through contrast, the traits, the attributes, or the values of another character. So let us apply this to the prompt language. And here's the prompt. In a literary work, a minor character, a foil, possesses traits that emphasize distinctive characteristics of the main character. Right? So it's the same thing we did Sunday. You are to write an essay where you analyze how that relationship between a minor character and a major character illuminate the meaning of the work as a whole. So when I see this prompt, I put myself in your mind as a student who's receiving this in an on-demand setting, and you have to quickly come up with some interesting things to say. I dial into the prompt. I immediately start in my mind circling things that are important that will guide my argument. So I circle or I bold in this distinctive characteristics and qualities of the main character. So I am to generate some of those things. And then later, I am to analyze the relationship between the minor and the major. So I have my idea. It's from Sunday. I want to discuss the way Lena and Teresa are foils of each other. I want to especially focus on the way that Teresa exemplifies or illuminates things about Lena. So in this one piece, the distinctive characteristics and qualities of the main character, I'm already thinking about, okay, so what are the qualities of Lena that this does reveal? And I decide to focus on, well, she's imaginative, she is fairly fearful, she's insecure. Her values are knowledge and peace. And I'm thinking in my mind about how Teresa really highlights those qualities because she is the contrast. And then later, I begin to develop the beginnings of my thesis or my big idea as I try to understand what is the relationship between these two characters. And what I land on is, for Lena, the fear comes from being invisible, being secret, from thoughts being hidden below the surface. There's a lack of clear communication with her and her mom. She's lost in fantasy and in dread. Teresa, though, she's not afraid, she's confident, she's secure. And so she shows Lena that Lena is fighting unreal demons. And through this, what is the impact? Why does that matter? What is the meaning of the work as a whole? Well, Lena learns to carry her own weight. And as I say that, I realize that's so true for so many of the daughters in this novel. They have to learn to carry their own weight. All right, so what does that look like? Now, I'm going to show you my outline. I think that for you, as you write, you're going to find natural ways to outline your thinking. There are many ways to do this. And I'll do an outline unit where I give you a bunch of different concepts that you can play out in an outline. This is just the way I develop my thinking, kind of like this. I do a brief essay, as it were. So in my outline, I'm going to use that idea I just said. Lena is controlled by fear, and Teresa is controlled by freedom. Teresa shows Lena she can survive the worst possible thing. So even though her mom is succumbing to grief, Lena is going to grow out of this experience. She's going to find hope in this experience with Teresa. All right, so paragraph 1, I write P1. I know I got to establish Lena's fear. And I really want to do that through her mom. So I'm going to write about how her mom is the source of this fear and anxiety. Her mom does a lot of things that show Lena the world is not to be trusted. She arranges the furniture differently every week to prevent a stillborn birth. So it's not even completely connected to reality. This terrifies Lena. So then in paragraph 2, I want to get more in touch with Lena and what she is like. So I really want to focus on those characteristics that Lena has. She is afraid. Her imagination battles knowledge to cure the fear. She wants to know things, but the knowledge it's not clear to her. It's not given to her. And the knowledge of the baby's death doesn't do anything to help. She hides the truth just like her mom. So when her dad says, "What happened? What does the mom say?" Lena lies. She doesn't say quite what her mom is saying after that moment. So I have to bring this together now. And I'm hoping that for me, paragraph 3 is the big paragraph. This is the one where everything moves towards. I need to show how Teresa is the opposite of all of that. Teresa takes risks. She lives in freedom. She's secure in her mother's love, even though her mother is constantly yelling at her. She has her own autonomy, independence, and she inspires Lena, who sees that the worst possible thing is survivable. She thinks Teresa is being killed every night. Teresa's fine. So for me, paragraph 1, paragraph 2, they're kind of small. Paragraph 3 is my big one, where I try to broaden that concept and then bring everything together. So in my conclusion, my argument is still moving. I'm still generating more thoughts. It's just that I'm hoping by now those thoughts make a lot of sense, and I've created all of the foundation for the arguments. I say Lena has a watershed moment when she meets Teresa. She realizes that baby died. A hope was born that night. She can see how her future might take shape, not around terrors of the unknown, but by her movement through the unknown. That's what all the daughters must learn to be their own, a legacy of, but apart from, their moms. In my conclusion, I'm beginning to hear the resonance, hear why this all matters. All right, so my outline is pretty substantial. Yours could be a lot quicker, but of course this is me modeling it, so I'm really trying to help you see my thinking. And that is your task, to do your essay. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the grading of this essay. I'm giving this a traditional grade, so this is your very first graded essay. Everything until now has been practice. Now keep in mind, I'm assigning this essay this week, but I'm going to give you lots of feedback, and the whole next week can be devoted to revision. So whatever you write today and this week, you'll have a chance to go back and revisit before it gets that traditional grade. The grade will be based on the AP rubric, which I'll go into next week, and it will be equivalent to a letter grade from 100 to 60. And that final grade of the essay will, in the end, comprise 15% of your final grade. All of these timed essays together are 15% of your final grade. And then the 85% of the final grade is going to be based on your goals and on your movement, your self-reflected movement through the class. That's the grading, just so you know. I'm going backwards a little, but the prompt, by the way, is question 3 on the AP Lit exam, so there's no need to quote. You could quote if you have quotes memorized. You might find that's true. In that case, feel free to use them, but don't go to the book and borrow quotes and feel like you need to integrate them into your argument. You don't. You won't be able to in an AP Lit exam. It will be all about your internalization of the text. All right. The prompt is there. It's linked. I've already given it to you in the slideshow, but it's also linked separately to look like the AP exam. And good luck.